Welcome to Blue Heron Hill in the garden, and my first beans are coming out. These are red swan beans. They're very good. If you haven't tried them, if you don't know about them, please do. I think I got the seeds from Baker Creek. Looks like I have a few that I could even pick. Usually I let them go, probably about that big. They are very delightful, and they are a bush variety. Yippee! So I am in the garden. Backdrop in my bean arbor, purple potted pole beans on this side, and a Monte Gusto, which is a yellow pole bean. They have reached the top, and soon enough I will be enjoying a shady spot in the garden as these all intertwine and make a lovely, lovely bean tunnel. So this is a tip on Tuesday. It's not so much a tip, but it's an observation. I have a number of trellising plants in my garden, of which pole beans are one. And so, did you ever notice how they climb up the trellis? Do you ever notice how they swirl around? What directions do your beans climb naturally? Not that you make them go that way, but in my garden, and in most everybody's garden, there's a counterclockwise direction that the beans take when they climb up your trellis. Here's some right here. You can see it swirls around this way. This is counterclockwise. And if you look at every single one, that's what they do. This is a phenomenon that you can see in a lot of plants. You can observe it. They have time-lapse photography. I try to do that, but we've got too much rain sometimes in the area, and I don't want to expose my camera to that. But this phenomenon has a name, and it's called circumnutation. I hope I got that right. Circumnutation. I'll put it down there. And it happens particularly on climbing vines. I have a couple more in my garden that I'll take you around, and we'll show how they're climbing up on their trellis. Many believe that in the northern hemisphere, they will vine counterclockwise, and in the southern hemisphere, they will vine clockwise. But this isn't true. Scientists have proven that that is not true in plants. It has to do with other things, which I frankly don't know and really haven't got into the researching, because I'm just fascinated by the fact that they do go counterclockwise. There are some other things that plants do that are absolutely, totally amazing. There's another one called heliotropism, and that is where they will follow the sun. Sunflowers, for instance, and I tried to get a few, but we've had some overcast days and they weren't cooperating. If you can see especially in sunflowers, before they start opening, the heads will actually follow the sun. In the east, it will be facing the east, and as it goes towards noon, and then over towards the west as the sun starts setting. Cool phenomenon. And then, of course, there's phototropism, which is a growth response to sunlight. These plants all want to grow up towards the sun. Sometimes they become too heavy, and they will flop to the ground because they don't have too much support structure, internal support structure. We usually give that to them if we want them in an upright posture, like tomato plants. Tomato plants are a vining plant, but they don't have enough of that circumnutation to actually vine up something. They're just too heavy. The fruits become too heavy and they pull it down. So pretty interesting stuff, these plants. They adapt to their environment just like we humans adapt to our environment. Fascinating organisms. In summary, the counterclockwise growth of these vining plants is really a fascinating phenomenon, and it's generally influenced by genetics. About 90% of those that do vining will exhibit the counterclockwise growth. About 10% will do clockwise. There are a lot of internal and external cues from the plant that influence this also, of which I won't go into because I haven't done that much research. So if you get to watch some of the time-lapse photography of this phenomenon, it's really quite interesting. And we have plants with superpowers in our gardens. So let's go, and I'm going to show you another plant that exhibits this circumnutation that I've been talking about. This is a black-eyed Susan vine, and let's get you a good shot. Here is the vine, and it's twirling around. Okay, that one stopped. It doesn't have as tight of a twirl as the bean plants do, but as it goes up, it twirls around. I usually have to give it a start. I've tried to do it the other direction, but it doesn't want to go that way. Let me show you another one. This is another black-eyed Susan vine. And if you look here, you can see these brown ones are dead ones from last year that I never took off. And they were climbing counterclockwise also. And here's the new ones, counterclockwise up its support post. I was curious as to whether my cucumber plants would have this same counterclockwise reaction with their tendrils. Now here you can see, here's a tendril here, and it seems to be wrapping around counterclockwise onto this support structure. But this tendril over here is not. It's going clockwise around this upright here. So I think maybe tendrils are using a different type of response. Here is a clockwise tendril holding on right there. This one up here is a counterclockwise. Here is my other bean arbor, and those are all exhibiting that counterclockwise. I have a few next to my onion patch here, and even this one has come over and started climbing up my onion. I'm going to have to move it and move it back to the trellis. Thanks for following along on Tips on Tuesday and learning about circumnutation. Fascinating, these plants. So if you haven't already subscribed, share this with anybody that may be interested in this fascinating plant physiology fact. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.